Are you suffering from anxiety panic attacks or know someone who does? Have you had your panic attacks for months or even years and still aren't getting any better? Have you been told that the only thing you can do is to take expensive psychoactive drugs for months on end, but you'll still never be able to cure it, only at best to control it? Have you suffered from any of the countless side effects of many of those drugs, and you're still being told they're the only way? And then, have you been told that any non-pharmacological methods are quackery and that they don't work? And did you believe that baloney? Do you still dare to hope that you can actually cure your panic attacks? If you answered yes to any of the above questions, then please watch this short presentation. Whoever told you that you must use drugs to manage panic attacks but you can't cure them is wrong. In the course of the next few minutes, you'll discover that panic attacks can indeed be conquered and not merely managed. And not over months or years of therapy, but within weeks or even days. And there is no risk, no side effects, and it costs less than a modest breakfast on the town. Sounds incredible? A wild claim, you think? Try not to prejudge and listen carefully now. Now, just before we go on, rest assured that the method you're about to discover is not some alternative hocus pocus or voodoo magic. This revolutionary system has been developed by a highly respected clinical psychologist with over 40 years of professional experience and has since been successfully tried and tested by scores of psychiatrists and clinical psychologists around the world. This amazing method boasts an over 98% success rate in personal therapy sessions. In fact, thanks to this method, a growing number of the so-called mainstream psychiatrists and psychologists are beginning to adopt it in their trials. But here, we will introduce you to the real thing, the original therapy developed by its creator, Dr. Frank R. Stoll, PhD. This therapy is known as Dreamwalk for panic attacks and has been in use by Dr. Stoll for some 30 years in his private practice. To date, the system has been tried by well over 4,000 patients, and the vast majority of them have reported simply stunning results. So what's the secret? What is the root cause of panic attacks? Here's what Dr. Stoll said during a recent interview.
There's a lot of different theories about it. Some doctors claim it has to be some kind of a chemical illness or whatever, and they obviously use that to indicate that they have to use medicine. Heavy medicine, first a little bit light and then afterwards more and more heavy. And at the end, what always happens is that the patients are depending on the medication. And once they are depending on the medication, they got a double problem. The other theory is obviously, and that's the one I've been proving for over 30 years, is that there's something happening in your life. Your brain can't cope with it, your brain can't find a solution for it, and it stores it away. Then there are enough triggers that one day, triggers means incidents that are similar to what happened then. Mm-hmm. Just small parts of it is good enough. And your brain will immediately pick up what has happened in small parts, meaning the feelings around it, but not what really caused it. So you get a feeling of an anxiety, of an anger, or whatever it is. And then your brain starts sorting it out. It starts looking for a solution for this anger or for this fear. Very often it's fear. And the brain can't find it because there is nothing. At the moment, there is nothing happening. There has only been a little trigger somewhere, and this trigger releases the same fear as you had before.
But what about medications? Don't they work? Let's listen to Dr. Stoll again.
Whatever all those tablets do, they don't do anything but postpone the reaction. They will calm you down at that moment and maybe make the fear a little bit less pronounced, but still, they will not change anything because a tablet, a pill, can never changed what has happened in your life.
That's
It
right.
can just make you react a little bit less.
Let's hear from long-time panic attack sufferers who actually tried the dream walk. Here's what Fred Sadler from Albany, New York said. I'm simply amazed. Dreamwalk is not what I expected. I enjoy playing it every evening. I can literally see my life change in front of me. And as for my panic attacks, I haven't had one for weeks now. Or have a listen to Linda Bailey from London, UK. You did in 3 sessions with Dreamwalk what my shrink couldn't do in 3 years. Or here's Almudena Sanchez from Spain. Can I just say wow and leave it there? Or Sophie Bridges from Atlanta, Georgia. I love how you combine rational argument with subconscious cues. Or Manfred Levy from Frankfurt in Germany. Touch wood, but for several weeks now I have not had any panic attacks. Even more, I have the feeling that I live again. Thank you, Dr. Frank Stahl. Thank you, Dreamwalk. And here's an amazing testimonial from another professional psychologist, Dr. Emily Oliveira from Gibraltar, which reveals that the power of Dreamwalk stretches far beyond the mere curing of panic attacks. Through Dreamwalk, you can come to terms with the past, the present, and the future. Finish unfinished business, deal with unresolved issues, explore your inner self, build your self-confidence, get rid of fears and inhibitions, learn to love and be loved, and this gives you an opportunity to help you shape your reality in the real world. Almost every person who tries Dreamwalk for panic attacks writes to us with thanks. We almost never need to ask for testimonials. So what exactly is Dreamwalk and how can it help you? Dreamwalk is a method, not a drug. It is a carefully designed therapy session which you can listen to at your leisure. It is a mild form of hypnotherapy if you like, but the devil is in the details. The founding principle of the Dreamwalk therapy for panic attacks is fundamentally different from most other conventional therapies. It has come to be known as the root cause therapy. The goal here is to help you help yourself. Not by arguing with you or trying to convince you with clever statements, but rather by guiding you through a process which will help you access your subconscious mind and seamlessly isolate the root cause of your panic attacks. There are always root causes in all conditions, and panic attacks are no different. Dreamwalk also uses carefully designed verbal and oral cues which help you shortcut the process of accessing your hidden memories. It's quite unique in that. This therapy is as revolutionary as it is simple. All you need to conquer your panic attacks is to listen to the Dreamwalk for Panic Attacks audio recording and follow the instructions. Each Dreamwalk session lasts an hour, and you can repeat it as often as you like, basing on the procedure developed by Dr. Stahl. The most amazing thing about Dreamwalk is not merely that it works so incredibly well in such an overwhelming majority of cases, but that it works so fast. We've had cases where patients effectively got rid of their panic attacks after a single session. In fact, about 10% of the cases have that kind of an amazingly quick turnaround. The majority of cases, however, take a little longer. On average, about 80% of patients take between 4 and 8 weeks, and the panic attacks disappear for good.
We've been able with Dreamwalk to cut it down so that those who had it 2-3 times a day, they maybe experience it after a week, they go down to once a week, and then once a month, and then they're gone completely.
So here's what you need to know before you decide to try it. Dreamwalk is a 100% non-invasive and drug-free psychotherapy. It's been clinically proven over 30 years. It's better than 98% effective in one-on-one sessions with a therapist. It is not a how-to guide. It is just a supremely effective tool. It includes a simple step-by-step methodology sheet and 2 recordings, a half-an-hour-long relaxation audio and an hour-long panic attack root cause session. There is even an option to speak to Dr. Stahl personally and conduct your therapy in person on Skype. If you apply the directions meticulously, you will either totally beat your panic attacks or greatly reduce them in record time. And if for any reason you're unhappy with this therapy, we will refund your money without any objections within the first 30 days from your purchase.
If you are a sufferer, if you have the panic attacks, you know pretty well what hell you're going through. And I promise you, you can do much, much worse than trying to use the dream walk. You have nothing to lose.
Click on the link below and change your life. Get rid of your panic attacks now.